I know I had the audacity to show my face. I'm kidding. So this is kind of sort of the post, not post traumatic, post Rune Raker decompression video. Um, the space was incredibly challenging in a way. Like yesterday was so full of synchronicity. Like doing the Rune Raker before I went to sleep was just the cherry on the top of the whole Sunday pie that was yesterday. But more than being the cherry, it put it all into context. And I remember like starting the day watching Amanda. I watched Amanda. I watched Lauren's Pisces video, Untitled Tarot. I was talking to Reem. I recorded a podcast episode with my friend, and then she pulled some cards for me after. I watched Reem's the Four Swords video, the mandala reading, and then I sat down to do that, and it was very much the energy that like I've sort of gone as far as I can go without opening those doorways to more. And even in her Libra reading, Miss Remy Healings, I feel like what I was doing, it's like I was in this little comfort bubble, but sometimes like reaching out to grab something outside of that, but then like, coming back to this area rather than expanding. And there was like so much conversation that the camera couldn't even pick up. I feel like like Spirit was like coaching me through like the whole thing. Um and it was like constant, and it was like reassuring, and it's interesting because like I went to bed last night thinking and feeling that like my internal shadow, it almost played out through the space of my inner child, but it felt like my internal shadow was like consoling my internal light and like holding its hand as I sort of step forward into deepening my abilities, I guess, and connecting more, um, and things like that. And usually, like if, if I do something, I kind of sort of just like follow the tangents until I get somewhere. But it was a lot more focused. Or yeah, it was a lot more focused yesterday by the end of it, especially. And I remember talking to Reem the other night about like some of the stuff that I do on that like mental astral plane. And I was talking about like the meditation class and when I enter certain spaces. And I guess going back to that rune, I feel like every time I reference that rune, the name almost just like slips. It almost just like slips. The knowing of what it will be almost just like slips out. But I felt like a heavy energy of impermanence about it. And in talking with Riemann, and like that got me to realize that there are a lot of things, or there are certain things that I can do in the moment where the internal knowing within me sort of kicks in. But it's almost like it's not for me to rely on that, because that is the impermanence of it. Like I can't live there, but I can expand my space to bring more of that forward, or to be able to engage it more consciously, I want to say, rather than relying on like almost a subconscious remembrance or retrieval in the moment to accomplish a certain task, right? And I can't remember exactly why or when that came up, but I was like, this is something that I really need to spend more time with. So I actually know like what to do or how to do and when to do. Um, and I think like in Lauren's video, she said pretty much the same thing. It's like, you've gone as far as you can go on your own. You're coming to a space of more. So you're going to have to like do more or incorporate more or open up to more. Um, and then, yeah, it was It was a lot. And this is where I want to end this. I'm gonna come back live like immediately. But I do want to make this like shorter and more focused on that yesterday. Maybe for my own posterity, right? So I can come back and watch it later. Or so I can look back and be like, oh, I remember when I felt that. Look at me now, right? And I guess to clarify, so like usually for me, it's like when Russ showed the runes in the first Rune Raker video, it's like I looked at him and this story immediately started unfolding within me about like, oh, this is that person that stands before a portal who, you're living your ordinary life and then you come across them one day and they're like, something's wrong, something's missing, and you know what it is. And it's that seed that gets you to finally look at everything. And then eventually you come back to that person and you're like, I know what it is. And then you're welcomed or you're ushered into this new sort of reality where everything that was sort of off or wrong that you just sort of glazed over has been corrected for. And then the other one, it felt like it was a connection that was sort of, anyway, they all sort of unraveled. But when I looked at that one that he posted, because usually like if I have something to offer, I just like post it. And honestly, that's another thing that has crept up for me within the past few days, and I don't know why necessarily. Because I've never, in the spaces that I share in now, I've never felt that like I was oversharing or overstepping. But maybe it is. And honestly, it was about the room. Russ! Oh my gosh, welcome. Yeah. I was like, is this a setup? I was low key. I was like, I feel like this is like like it's perfectly set up for me to take this and try my hand at it. Um and I was like, yeah, it was. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like sitting down and doing it, maybe it caused, it did, honestly, it caused an illumination within myself. And I feel like, honestly, it was a space for me to engage that space. I would have had to have been a lot brighter internally. And so it's almost like that rune was this beacon that highlighted and illuminated shadows within me that I don't often experience or don't often see. There were some that like maybe I've never really experienced, but to come into a space where I would like engage with that, it was like, oh, here's everything that you don't see. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like I don't feel insecure very frequently at all. But I was immediately like, oh my gosh. Yeah, when you said that, I was like, okay, because I'm a engage the space now. But yeah, how are you doing today? And I feel like that would be like a really cool, really cool project, or a cool like sort of addition to like see all of the rune shuffles. Like that would be so awesome. But yeah, it was just that space of like this is some of the more that I would be stepping into and like stepping into it deeper and then everything. Well, I hope you enjoy your Patrick Day. Patrick Days, it depends on, they can be weird. I feel like they can be all over the place. I would, last time I tried to use the Norse cards for somebody, the stream got shut down because I got a little bit too excited and I was doing a little bit too much. So, well, I'm glad to hear it. Yeah. And like, I think maybe that's another thing that I needed to give myself permission to do. And two, it was like when I was there, I feel like there was, see, well, now there's like four people, Russ. I'll have to chat with you one of these days. But I feel like there was like a pressure to like almost like be, not to be somebody else, but like to do things in a certain way. And that's why, like, in the beginning, they kept telling me it was like, do it as you, right? Don't try to do it as anything other than like who you are. Step into, and so it was really like a pull for, it was really a pull for me to like step into more of me, like be more of me, dig deeper, get like go to that wellspring. And that was sort of like the wellspring energy. And it's something that I feel like I kind of sort of dance around it, but I've never had to like go to the well, right? I guess that's Mimir as well within me. I don't know. Um, oh, I so want to, but it doesn't feel appropriate. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but like this this project is intense. I almost like I am really excited though to like to, I don't know. It does it stirs a deep excitement within me because I feel like, and I feel like I've felt this recently, like I feel like I've never really been challenged in a way that like that challenged me yesterday in this space. I feel like I've never like had to dig so deep, but like they're ancient runes that were like, you know, it makes sense, but I was like, I think I went to bed. Like, what did I get myself into? uh, but yeah, it was definitely, I guess, what I've been needing. I felt very triggered in the moment and last night, but and it again, like it was so interesting. Like I felt like my shadow came to like comfort me, and it was like, you can't stop here. Like we're continuing going. You'll be okay. I'm here with you. Thank you. Yeah, and I can see that, and I think that's one of the things about going further back. It seems that like when we go further back, some of the energies almost feel a bit more primordial, but also like more universal. And I'm not like that they all are, but I feel like it's maybe because it pulls on something that makes us go deeper. We get closer to that part of us that is fractal or of the all or a fragment of the all. And I'm just like, oh. Russell, why wouldn't you put like an easy one up? Just like, hey, here's like something to get you like, introduced. I'm gonna ease you into this. Russ is just like throwing us in the deep end. But it's fine. It was like I enjoyed the experience. And I am really excited to move forward. I want to pull something. I don't want to go too deep because if I do, then I'm gonna have to stop. But I feel like I can't. I want to. I'll just grab these. The Yggdrasil Norse divination cards. Even these cards, I'm like, what? Just to distract myself a little bit, I need some distraction. I read your comment and you're like, Patrick, put down the cup. Stop being distracted. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, because I was like, because usually, like, when I look at the other ones, or as like I've watched the Runebreaker videos, it feels like it's open just as you or Rob or Reem are opening it, like it feels like it's open. But I kept looking at that one, and that's why I didn't say that's why I didn't say anything the first time you posted it. Cause like I didn't have any initial hits like at all. It was like very perplexing, and I was like, "Ooh, ah, let's go! I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. It was an experience. It was an experience. No, 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 you're not interrupting. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. And there was a little part of me, honestly. I felt like you were like nudging at me. I felt like you were pulling me. You were like going, post it, like poking me. I was like, no, I don't want to. I was like, I want to do it, but I don't want to do it. I was like, I feel like this is a setup. I feel like Russ is setting me up. And then I engaged that space and I'm like, oh my gosh, Russell, I'm drowning. Help me. But then it was like that natural buoyancy force within me was like, you know how to swim. You're not gonna drown. Like, stop. And I can be a little overly dramatic sometimes. Um, but yeah, like there was so much conversation with that. I was like, oh snap. Okay. So I want something good, but I guess I don't want to go too deep because let's just get. Oh, for me, yeah, and my okay. Oh my gosh, what? Oh wow. So Baldur and Gandalf just came out. I was like, Baldur, like the embodiment of light. What? And then Gandalf came out, and I didn't even know that Gandalf was in Norse mythology. I thought that was just the name of the dude in the Lord of the Rings. Bottom of the bottom of the deck is Ran. Intuition, subconscious, and currents. That's what this feels like, though. The Wand Wizard. I wouldn't. Let me stop. I think for me, like, I feel like there are a few things that it's like when I approach this space, it feels like something I can do, but then I'm like, I can't do this. I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah, that was like, because at a certain point, there was this energy that just came in and it was like, tell my story. Like, tell my story. I'm like, what? So is this like word of mouth? Honestly, this feels like it feels like Balder is this energy. So everything that I talked about yesterday. Hey Dana, how you doing? Everything that I talked about yesterday with that like impermanent feeling, this is about making it permanent. This is about increasing it until it's something that can be held rather than just like accessed. It can be held or embodied more consciously rather than it being a space that we approach and then we access. Because like that's what Baldur is. Baldur is feeling like that light that we all hold within us that is impossible to like dim, the indimmable light, the unsnuffable flame. And then Gandalf, It's about like using it and becoming proficient with it. And then when Ran popped up with like intuition, subconscious, and the currents, I'm like, okay. And the seabeds, that's where the whales. Oh my gosh, I talked about that. Oh my gosh, I talked about that. When I did the self read and with the Five of Cups, there was the pentacle on the back of the dude's cape and then the pentacle on the water. And I was like, that reminds me of like the whales who etched these ancient runes into the seabed and the ocean floor. And I was like, it's gonna be time to tap into that. And then last night I was like, thanks, Dana. I encourage everyone to do it. But I'd say you like brace yourself. I want to read Gandalf. He's the fifth, no, the fourth in the fifth realm. Who is this? Who is this? I don't know. I'm gonna have to see what realm this is. The fourth in the fifth realm, yeah. Hold up, wait. The sixth. Oh my gosh, I can't even read Roman numerals anymore. Wait, what? Caramel on the stove. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Are they connected somehow? I didn't know Mimir's well was so close. Hold up, Gandalf, where are you? I think I did Gandalf wrong. Is it the sixth and the fifth? Hold up, wait. Yeah, I did this wrong. Oof, oof. It's the fifth and the sixth. Gandalfur. Gandalfur is one of the dwarves who resides in Voluspa. He is the wise sorcerer and scholar. His presence in the spread stands for a mentor, teacher, and educator that furthers the seeker in his journey of life. The card encourages an inquisitive mind and for the seeker to acquire knowledge in his or her field or profession or on any matter at hand. Gandalfur's name suggests that he is kin to the elf. His name means the staff of the elves, so he might be a dwarf who has equal footing in Alfheimer, which is interesting. It's interesting. His presence in the spread works very much for the seeker's favor when it comes to seeking knowledge and using the creative mind and the imagination to further a cause. And then we got Baldur with Ron at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is Russ. Look at him. It's Russell. I, see, I knew it was a setup. I was like, Russ is like, yeah. I was like, I feel him pulling at me. I don't know what this face is. I love Cindy Math though. Cindy Math is like, because I'll see it like I did. I pulled some cards the other day, and I was like, "Oh, let me see like what's before and after the Judgment card," and it was 5-5 Judgment 5-5. I was like, "Oh, in Cindy Math, I can add 4 5s, and it's a 20, and Judgment is 20. What? Cindy Math is magic." By the way, yeah. See, I went to bed last night. I was like, I'm going to intentionally have less hesitation when it comes to certain spaces, but now I feel like, like Russell, what? What are you getting me into? What am I doing? You have reached the point. You have passed the point of no return. Like, okay, fine, whatever, whatever. gosh, see, nope, you got me last time. Okay. Oh gosh. See, I feel like I'm in my comfort zone. You shall not pass. I don't think I had a dream last night. I can't remember it. Have I seen you lately? Have I seen you recently in a dream, Russell? Maybe, maybe not. It reminds me of that one dream. You didn't either. That's interesting. It reminds me of that one dream where I first saw you, and you were like, at the end of the dream, you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna go out to sea, and I was like, you're going out to sea, like, like I'm not trying to be in the water, open water, Russell. You're trying to get me on open water, and you're like, you'll be fine. I was like, no. It's interesting though. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh. This is that third dream that I had. Oh my gosh, and I fell for it. I fell for it in real life. I knew it was there. I knew it was there, but I fell for it anyway. Cuz in that third dream, we got on the ferry. We got on the ferry to cross the water so you could show me like everything that you were working on. And now I've pulled the Idrisil the Idrisil Norse mythology cards when I was reading that story, and I was like, there's a tree with silver leaves where the eagle comes to nest at the top, and because the eagle nests at the top, there are creatures at the bottom. And I crossed the ferry. I crossed the ferry. Oh my gosh. I fell into the lure of that rune. I posted the video. Oh goodness. Ow. Ow. What was that? I'm expecting to be rewired now. See, the thing about these currents is that it feels like dormant pathways almost. It feels like energetic channels that may have dried up. Or not necessarily dried up, but they're trickling instead of. Right? It's a nonsense rune. It's not a nonsense rune. But that's the matter of illumination. So it's not a trickster energy, but it gets you to see like whatever however you need to be directed forward. Like it feels like that rune would sort of manifest in any shape. Like it has a purpose behind it. It has a reason, but it can manifest as anything to sort of have that come through. Yeah. Yeah. I was just like chilling with the Yggdrasil. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm probably trying to figure something out. Oh, see, what is that? I feel like you would know. There's like right here on my back. There's like this feeling. It feels like they're light pathways though. And so like whatever our light is, and that's why I was like when I tapped into it, like it illuminated shadows that I don't often have to face or that I haven't been facing. Ah, okay. Oh, who was what? It's funny because this King of Cups was just at the. It's G energy wings. I had a feeling you would say that. I knew you were gonna say that. I need to go listen to G music. This King of Cups came out last time as like there's light returning to certain spaces. This is what that rune was doing. It was highlighting, bringing light to certain corners. And with this Nine of Wands, it feels like it's an energy of like a spiritual inheritance or like a spiritual lineage because it's like that golden cord connects there. And so in that it is almost an energy of a passing of a torch. Oh my gosh, this is Gandalf. I think this is Gandalf. See, he's the one that's breaking the clouds in the sky here. This goes for Baldur because now he needs to step into like his lineage or whatever, right? Whatever. Ressa. Is this not everything that I've asked for? And nothing that I wanted? No, it isn't. It is. It is. It's not. Yeah, I need to stop. I don't think I'm going to get anything else from this. I mean, quite simply, it's just like it's time. It's time to step forward. It's time to claim. It's time to embody. It's time to make the impermanent permanent. And it reminds me of Frosty. Oh, look, the magician. But see, there's this energy of like working with the heavens. Because this reminds me of like, when the angels in the Bible would step forward and they would say, don't be afraid. And it's because you would see something like that. But it's like it's working with those energies. And the all gifted Pandora is at the bottom of the deck. The Queen of Wands is here, which is Hathor. And Hathor speaks for me. Reem, what? All we need is Robin. and everybody else come through. Hathor is an energy. She's one that she always comes up for me. And she's always like been there. But I haven't like engaged her. Right? Russell, the Voluspa. Or the vulva, not the vulva. The priestesses in Norse mythology. So I've been watching Ragnarok. Hathor is the queen of sound frequencies? Oh, well then that's your queen. So maybe that's you. That's another Russell card. But it's this is the energy of unlocking. Which is a point. Again, it's like this is the point. Where like and you said it earlier, the not the Norns, because the Norns are about fate and destiny. Like I've looked it up before, and it was like there were priestesses or like oracles, and they were like females. Because I was like trying to dig into like Scandinavian stuff, trying to bridge like. Well, first I thought maybe they were on the same side, but I actually have Irish on my mom's side and Scandinavian on my dad's side. So, like, they're not on the same line. And that's when like the Irish, it was like some female seers and I don't know, I don't remember. But their energy almost came forward yesterday. But it's something that you said earlier. It's like we're working with these more primordial, more these beings to bring forward things, but in doing that, we unlock what is sort of within us. And that's this energy again. It's like because the rune yesterday, it felt impermanent. Like it can inspire you to that path. It can illuminate something for you. It's like Veluspa are the female seers. Okay, I thought so. Well, I didn't think so, but I guess I did. Veluspa. I don't know how to pronounce it, but and so because it's meant to show you, it's like that rune. Because again, like something about it doesn't feel like the sun. It feels impermanent. So it's like there's this flash somewhere. The cloud breaks somewhere and it shows you where Mimir's well is. But it feels like that entire lake. Like I thought Mimir's well would be like a well. Mimir's well is like an entire body of water. But it shows you where that is back in the distance. So you still have to journey there. You still have to go there. It can only, it's like the flash. And these cards like Gandalf for Baldur, and Ran, it's about drinking from the well and awakening what is within. But it's more permanent. And that's I was saying that with because I was when I was talking with you, Reem, the other night, it was that like I feel like I can do all of this subconsciously. Like there's this subconscious, thank you. What you don't know is how much I just like say some of these words to practice. And I have to practice so I can like learn to say it in my own voice a little bit. It's a spring and brook. The Norns use the water each day to wet Yggdrasil. I like in my voice, I can only roll an R if I attempt to do a really bad accent. See, there's that. I feel like something in my brain is starting to unlock, and it's just a cute, like I feel it in here, and then it'll come in the back, and I'm like, okay, all right, fine. I feel like they were like beating up on me. I'm like, I was like, oh my gosh. And when I watched it back, it was like, of course, none of that picks up on the camera. Um, I'm just like, okay, I felt beat up last night. I went to bed feeling bruised. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. And that's what I've been trying to do here too. Emphasis on trying. Bow, bow, Bordur. I don't know. We'll see. But like I was saying, or like I was feeling with you last night, Reem, it's like I can do all of these things subconsciously. Like when I'm put in a position to do something, the subconscious knowing rises to the surface. And I sort of surrender to it and I just do whatever I'm instructed to do in those moments. But it was this feeling of like I need to like not have to rely on that. I need to turn this into a skill, or I need to turn this into something that I can do almost on command rather than waiting for these moments, because that it's impermanent, and it's a time for unlocking. And it's funny because the all gifted, I did like the transition of masculine energy, long liquid L like Russian. That does not help me wrestle. But I'll look into it. Hey D, how's everybody doing today? Yeah. And that's why, like Reem, I was like, I don't want to get too far into it because, like, I don't want the stream to start buffering. I don't want to speak things that I'm not supposed to be speaking. But the All Gifted came out when I was doing the reading. I'll try, Russ. I was doing the reading about the shift of masculine energy coming more into its divinity. And on the Hierophant side, there was a card above and the All Gifted came out below. But since there isn't a correspondence for the all gifted, I couldn't go any further with this. And it goes back to like the Empress is given the Ankh, is bestowed the Ankh from the Empress. And so this all gifted energy never would have worked with that old shadowy Hierophant energy because the Hierophant takes, and what it can't take, it burns and destroys. And it's what you were saying about Goddess Ningal. Like it wasn't destroyed. Like physically it was destroyed, but the truth lies inside of us in the light body, right? And as we in the light body, and then here's Baldur, right? And it's about uncovering that, it's about bringing it back to the surface. And the Magician actually came out when I was using the Witch's Tarot. Oh, when I was doing Cindy math. It came out when I was doing Cindy math. Um, it was the Magician and the Ace of Swords, and it was about learning in a way where it's like we're not conducting natural forces and like the fairy spirits. It's like we're working with them, but like those natural forces also want to work with us. And so it's about us reaching almost a space of totality within self where we can sort of paint. And just like when we were talking about when you asked me how I felt about like the shadow. And it's like I think the shadow is important. If we don't have shadow, then everything is just like it's a blank white canvas. We need the shadow to contour. We need the light to highlight. Having both gives us the rainbow in between. And it's almost like there's a certain level of imbalance that these energies just will not cooperate with, will not work with, because it's like it's a total package, right? Pandora, like you can't open the box and let out just hope, right? When you open the box, it lets everything out. And so there needs to be a wholer space when we engage this. And look how like natural and like beautiful this card is. But also, is this the Flursa? Is Pandora the person standing in front of the portal? Like something is off here. Something isn't right. And you know what it is. I'm going to stand here until you can face that reality. And then I'll usher you into something more. Return to the world. Ragnarok before the world is now a safe place for him. Oh, what? I didn't know that. And I wish like I almost started to do the video with like showing the cards because when I was laying everything out, and I ended up looking up what Fimbulvinter is. It's the long winter that precedes the events of Ragnarok. And like I just put the Three of Pentacles on top of everything else. I was like, okay, this is Loki and his kids. And then under that was Thor after Ragnarok. And then under that was Baldur. And then like above all of that was the Three of Pentacles like Fimbulvinter. Anyway, I don't want to go too deep into it. Well, I don't have to because it feels like it's like Gandalf. It's Gandalf is coming for all of us. So watch out because Russ is out here. Oh, I love this. I love this too. At the bottom of the deck is the Ten of Swords, and then under that was the Six Pentacles. But more than that, it's this Ten of Swords. If you have epilepsy, please, I might just have to turn that off because I don't want someone with epilepsy to come in and then like have a seizure because this light can't get it together. 1 second. All right. Yeah. I was like, I'm not trying to trigger like an epileptic seizure as someone is like in their room by themselves. And then, yeah, anyway. I'm sure that wouldn't have been the case because I'm sure like spirit's not out here like having me trigger seizures in people, right? But this Ten of Swords and this came out with um, Amrun, and it talked about her being able to like she goes from Midgarder to Ausgarder, and it's like, well, typically the only way that we get to Asgard is if we're chilling in Valhalla, and this is the Valkyrie that's come to collect us. And then look at all the crows and the ravens. Quoth the raven evermore. Yeah, that's so. I feel like I was going somewhere with that, but I don't know. Yeah, Ravager, your backyard friends. I think that's more for strobe lights. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to go there. Like, I would want to go to one of the places where it's nice, but I didn't know that it's because of it's getting rid of the violent gods. Yeah, like Alfheimer. I would like, yes, please. Yes, please. Oh, maybe this is where she takes you. This is what the Valkyries do. Because I remember, I don't remember which reading it was, but when it came out in one of them that it's like Odin thinks that the Valkyries work for him, but in reality, the Valkyries are still doing what it is that they were always doing. Now they just have to do it in a different way to, appease Big Odin at the top of the food chain or whatever. Maybe those like the Valkyries are the butterflies that usher us into this realm. And then I'm looking at like there's a red portal and a blue portal. This is the vehicle through which it feels like we live on the red side and we're trying to get to the blue side. And spirit is working with us to move us to the blue side. And to do that, the community rune is there. And Russell is, um, spearheading. Is that the term? The project. Or Russell received it and was gracious enough to like open it up and to make it a collaborative effort. Because it feels like part of it is intended to be. It feels like it is intended to be collaborative, but I don't know, and that it doesn't really matter. But I don't know if everyone would have been in the space to make it collaborative because it feels like it could have been a huge point of ego. Like I'm working to bring the runes back. I'm tapping in. Like I did this, and you know, and like it's what we do for each other. Just popped into my mind. Right, one candle lights another. One person inspires another, and inspiring another. Sometimes we ourselves can be inspired. Like it's everyone's box. Okay. Yeah, let me put these down. I can feel myself starting to get lightheaded. And I'm not trying to go too far into this. And it's already been like 50 minutes. So, oh, snap. Goddess Anana. I looked at the bottom of the deck and the Empress was there. Goddess Anana. This is Goddess Anana in the Tarot Apocalypsis. She's the Empress. Love that energy. That was, see, that's funny. I was like, oh my gosh, like I was like, I'm starting to get lightheaded. Goddess Anana, Goddess Anana Ishtar. I was like, let me shut this down before some goddess like try to come through and then just shut down the whole stream. Um, yeah, I forgot again already. Goddess Ningal. I feel like she's pulling me. Okay, we'll just go for it. I told you, Reem, like ever since I had that one dream, and I remember it was one of Russell's Chinese zodiac readings when he was in the Hermit Hideaway last year. It was like I had a dream that night that I was just flying around in the dream space, and like I entered this area that was so just extremely disorienting. Like imagine being a bird with your internal compass, and then you enter this like geomagnetic field that just like turns everything upside down, and you're like your internal compass cannot like straighten out or focus, and like you're in the air trying to like move, and I'm like, okay, so I need to like ultra ground myself. It's like I need to make myself like pinprick thin, but at the same time expand my consciousness. And then I end up in this space with the goddess just sitting there smiling. It was like literally this white space with like a little bit of a checkered floor, but not like a black checker, like a pale sort of whatever checker. Just sitting at the table with her two attendants off to the side, sitting there waiting for me and smiling. And then after I had that dream, in my dreams, like there's like goddesses just pop up sometimes. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I don't know who you are, but hi. And most of the time they don't like, and I've told you about this, Reem. Like most of the time they don't really like ask me to do anything or say anything really. They just sort of like make their presence known. I don't know. Yeah. Astarte and Ishtar. Because I remember Asteros maybe came out in the Demon Tarot. And I was like, oh, is this like Astarte? And it was like, it's the male version of Astarte. Oh my gosh. I need to put these. Oh, the woozies intensify. I haven't even eaten yet today. I was going to eat cereal before I did this. It's fine. It holds a lot of things. Especially like there are just some dreams that I remember. Another thing, this is what I was going to talk about, but I forgot. Speaking of my still trapped memory, um, so when I was having that feeling of like it needs to be more permanent, this needs to be something that I can consciously access. I've had dreams, or I have a lot of dreams. Fainting is perfect for channeling. Oh my gosh, I'm the person that passes out. Spirits like, are you going to trigger an epileptic seizure in other people? No. Are you going to faint from the process? Maybe. I'm like, okay, all right, I guess that's how it works. Okay. Um, but I'll have these dreams where I'll know Like I'll enter the dream space with a knowing. I know everything about everybody. I know exactly what's going to happen and how events are going to transpire. Sometimes I'll have the dream like I'm watching it, and then I'll literally have the dream again from the beginning, but the next time I'll be in it. But and I was telling Reem about this dream. Don't say that, Reem. Don't say that. um I had this dream where I entered a dream space with a knowing. And it's like everything was wrong, right? I was like, there were people who were doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing. And I was like, okay, you do this, you do that. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And it worked for a lot of people. But then there was a couple. And I went up to the dude in the couple. I'm like, oh, you're supposed to be with this other girl. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, like, I just know everything, like, no big deal. um, and he was like, okay, but like you telling me that I'm supposed to be with somebody else isn't going to change the love that I have for this person. Like, I'm not just going to abandon this relationship because you come in and you tell me I'm supposed to be with somebody else. I was like, oh. And in that moment, oh, Russell, I want some curry rice with naan so bad. I keep seeing these YouTube, like when I was doing the water fast, YouTube wanted to put all of the food videos on my channel. And I saw one for like how to make easy naan last night. And I was like, I want naan so bad. That sounds so good. I'm like, I haven't eaten. Reem's like, I haven't eaten. D hasn't eaten. Russ is like, I ate twice. But it's a lot later where you are, Russ. So that makes sense. Hopefully by that time this side of the world, I will have eaten. Oh, red snapper. But so Russell's like, get back to the point. Okay. Thanks, Russ. And so when he told me that in the dream, it's not that it disrupted my knowing, but it corrected my knowing for his timeline. And in that sense, it almost takes me back to Apple Bearer. And I think it was after I watched the Mars. I think it was while I was watching the Mars Venus Mercury video on Russ's channel that I was taken back to Apple Bearer. And I was like, oh, so like hanging from the world tree, since the world tree contains all 9 realms, and it correlates to something that we were talking about, or I was talking about with you again when I sent you those pictures, Reem. It's like from that dimensionless, timeless space, you can see how things operate in all 9 realms. And so it's like you can pick from the 9 realms things that might exist in one realm that don't exist in the other ones. So it's like it's this twofold process. You can either pick from and take from all 9 realms and create something that is unique and new, but its parts exist. And that was the Three of Pentacles card, the Three of Orbs. It's like, we don't create from nothing, but we can take and part and create something new by what already exists. It's like that was one fold. But the second was, it's like you can look at these 9 different realms and you can find the common thread between all 9 of them. And it can teach you this fundamental sort of base understanding for how things are structured and organized. And that knowing, like the fruit of the tree, is sort of like what grows inside of you as you sort of use both of those aspects, combining from different parts, but also increasing your fundamental understanding. Because here on Earth, we have a certain view of physics. And on Earth, we assume that because physics works the way that it does here, that it must work that way throughout the entirety of the universe. Now, in like string theory and things like that, we're also coming to understand that there are things that we don't know, right? And the hey kitty cat, and the quantum sort of nature of all that. But anyway, so back to the dream. It's like I came in with the certain knowing of certain timelines, but that one, and again, it's so funny that it was only one person in the dream, and it was a couple. The girl he was with, I didn't have like any knowing about at all. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm back. I just got like real woozy for a second. The girl he was with, I didn't know anything about, but I was addressing him. I was like, "You're supposed to be with someone in this timeline, in this realm, from what I know." And he said, like you're not. I'm not going to allow somebody to come in, tell me that I should be with somebody else, and then, oh, okay, all of the love and all of the history that I have with this person is just gone. He's like, no. But like when he said that to me, I feel like it opened me up to his new timeline. So I woke up from that dream that was like, and this is why I talk about it so much, like to have a knowing or to be comfortable with having a knowing while simultaneously being open to more. And I can't remember why I started talking about that or where this energy is coming through. Oh, because that's why I need to step out of impermanence. I need to make that, I need to strengthen those channels. I need to re-etch and bring back to the, I need to pour light into those liquid channels, right? To bring that back online. Because if I walk in with a preconceived, then I can't accommodate or adjust for what's happening in the now. I need more fluidity within my own self. And so that's one of the things that that rune, and it's like I did the rune after I had that dream, but it's like it pieced a lot of things together that I'm like, oh, okay. All right, I gotta breathe. Maybe breathing won't help because I feel like the more oxygen I get in my body, the more I'm like, I don't know why that came through or where that was coming from. Okay, yeah, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you, Russell. To both distract and focus. You are the epitome of what I would like to be. To do both. And but that's one of the I feel like that's one of the lovely things about being a human is that or being like incarnated in the physical is that we're afforded duality. We're afforded multiplicity and like multifacetedness. And I feel like when it comes to certain deities, it's like you'll read of deities who had to become something more, had to become something different. But in that, it's like they take on an entirely different persona, right? It's almost like I don't want to speak on her because I don't know. I don't know her personally, but it's almost like that, like Inanna Ishtar. Like when Inanna is Inanna and when Inanna becomes Ishtar, because it's like I need to be more. I'm about to step up. I'm about to kick it into overdrive, and then she puts on the face of Ishtar, right? But as humans, it's like we get to be the range without having to step entirely outside of ourselves or without having to adopt a new name. And I feel like there's a gift in that. I think we also get so like that would be this vertical sort of ascension, like we become more intuitive for the moment, and then we are the embodiment of prophecy and timelessness and observing timelines, right? But we also get this vertical or this horizontal, right? We can be healers and we can be warriors and we can be there's so much that we can be, and there are so many different levels as that we can be that. It's like if you're mixing music, right? And you adjust the dials and you see all the different wavelengths of whatever. Speaking of, the goddess of sound frequency, here's Hathor. I was like, okay, girl, like I don't know why you're right here, but it feels like Hathor is the one who assists us in like sitting at the mixing booth, where it's like we turn this up, we turn that down, and we dial in to who we need to be when we need to be that. And so like to eliminate and get rid of your shadow, to eliminate and get rid of any part of you, is to strip you of the very thing that makes you beautiful as a human. Like this is why we are who we are and what we are. And I think that's the thing about Pandora's box. Because for like a deity, for an energy who is mostly sort of singular focus, right? Some of them will be like kind of broad, right? But it's like if they experience anything too much outside of who they are, then they become something else. They become someone else. They adopt a different identity. That's why the opening of the box was as destructive as it was back then. But for a human, like how many different emotions and thoughts and feelings do we like balance and manage on a day-to-day basis? And like we're so capable of holding complex emotions and thought patterns that I feel like sometimes we overly simplify or we try to separate ourselves. But Pandora's like, you, like I said, like she can't partially open this box. We have to be able to take it all. Okay. I'm back. Let me read this. And that's one of the things, like, I don't even know why I want to cry. Because I'm not going to say it's dumb for me to cry right now. But that's one of the things that I really wish. Why am I getting so emotional? Ugh. Oh, I know why I'm getting emotional. And it's like when I was telling Reem, like, I've been through like really, really low, like moments in my life. And my shadow was the part of me, like, it got me through that. And maybe this is like the pain of my shadow that would like, it would sit with me in all of those difficult moments for me to reach a point where I'm like, okay, well, like, I'm happy now. I don't need you. Bye. And it's like, I'm not going to abandon myself like that. And it's like I know like it's difficult sort of managing everything that we feel as people and like trying to show up and be a certain way in the world where we have all of these other things going on, but it's like to sit in a space where we just so like willingly amputate and abandon and throw away all of what makes us capable of the things that we're capable of. It's like it doesn't, like I can't, and it's not that I don't understand why we do it, but it's just like why? And I feel like we all have our own path and we all have our own journey and we all have our own truths and we're all becoming something different. And so it may be someone's path and someone's journey and someone's truth to have less of that darker influence, maybe, or that shadow influence. And so maybe for them, they are this pure light body on earth who doesn't engage in duality at all, in a space of duality on a planet of duality where we're blessed to see the beauty of what duality can offer us. Like there's hot and cold, there's wet and dry, like, and it all exists here harmoniously. It's like one biome doesn't compete with another. And if it does, then it's the earth going through her seasons and her cycles. But I do feel that, I don't know. It's so complex. that I'm not even going to speak on it. Lauren, what? Where is she? Oh, snap. Lauren. Now every time I feel like I get distracted, I'm going to hear Russell being like, stay on, like, stay focused, Patrick. Hey, LB. Because it's like, I know that, and it's like when you've experienced trauma, like I haven't, right? Like, come through, Rob. It's like being human, it's so understandable. And I feel like from a little bit of a decontextualized spiritual point of view, it would be like, oh, well, why don't you just do the thing that you're doing? Or why don't you just do the thing that you're supposed to do? Like, it's not that difficult. It's not that hard. But like when you're down here living in it, it's like, it's not that easy. Which is why I feel like lately, I kind of feel like I can't speak as much, if that makes any sense. I feel like speaking less and less because life is what it is. And I am not in the business of invalidating anyone's experience or feelings or pain because it's all real. But at the same time, it's like we can sort of come out of that. And it's difficult. It's like, how do you manage that? Ugh. I don't even know where those emotions came from. I was like, it just hit me. It's been like this though. All right, I'm back. And I think honestly for me, it has become a real point of contention, I guess, within myself, like balancing both. And I have to trust and believe that whoever comes across my channel. So this is my hope for you people listening. It's that like, oh my gosh, I feel the emotion coming back. Ooh, ooh. I'm a Pisces, but I got too much Taurus in my chart. I'm like, no. It's my hope that for those who come across my channel, you're going to be, you're going to have enough discernment and you're going to be rooted enough within yourself that no matter how strongly I speak sometimes, that you won't take what isn't yours. And that's why, like, when I started, I was like, I don't necessarily, like, I don't want to be for everybody because there are just like some spaces that I don't want to have to exist in. And it's not that I'm incapable of being compassionate or understanding or anything like that. But it's like there's so much more that I'm wanting for myself and for everybody. But at the same time, I realize and understand that not everyone is necessarily ready for that. Or not, like, it's not necessarily the time. Just like there were so many people in my own life who were like, oh, they were like, you wouldn't be given any challenge that you couldn't overcome. And like, you should get help. Like, have you actually thought about, like, I wasn't in a space to do better or to want to be better. I was where I wanted to be. regardless of like how much I hated it there and how depressed and miserable I was, I wanted to be there. I didn't want to be here now. Then I just lost myself. I didn't want to be in the energy that I can more confidently. I didn't want to be in the energy that I'm in now where I was back then. And so every time I would meet or interface or interact with anything that would call me to be more, I would shut it off. And like that's why I just have to trust that anyone who will come upon this will be in a space where they're not going to feel rushed or pressured or invalidated. They're not going to feel like they're not going to turn on themselves in a negative way, because how I would like for us to really step into all of who we are. And for us to step into all of who we are, it's going to require all of who we are. We can't like amputate and demonize and dismiss and then like try to be more. That's when it's like, that's when the soundboard is messed up, right? Or like there's this annoying buzzing and you can't hear anything. Oh, thank you. Wait, are you fasting, Lauren? Hold up, wait. I'm like, okay. Lauren came in. I was already off. Maybe I don't need to go all the way back. I'll read it later. Yeah. And I think that's why, like, when I was commenting on your videos last year, when you were talking about, I don't even remember who they were. Oh, that's a whole bunch of cards. Who is this? Is this? Oh my gosh. You see that? Run. With schooled at the bottom of the deck. Oh, here's one of the Norns, the past. You're on an Ezra fast. Oh, okay. You're not fasting, but you're only eating birdseed grains. I might as well be fasting at this point. After my experience with the water with the water fast, I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. I was like, oh, I think this will be easy. What? So the magician gets this like red string thing, this red energy from this angelic presence up here. But as it falls to the earth, it turns into water. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's the channeling. Oh my gosh. I was like, I don't know why I'm getting so emotional. Well, that's what it feels like down here. Okay. There are no shops for fresh vegetables and they go off too quick here. Oh, because it's so hot. That makes sense. So like the bird seed, the grains, like that's something that you're doing out of necessity. As I stuff enchiladas in my face. And I remember like pulling the cards, what, yesterday? Right? He was like, Lauren's already like, I'm avoiding the food videos. Amanda! Oh my gosh. Amanda, hi. Welcome. All of my favorite people are gathering. I'm fine. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Um. Okay, I'm gonna clear the table. Oh my gosh. Look what's at the cut. Oh, oh. Okay, sorry. Um, Odin and Loki they were at the cut. I was like, okay. All right, all right. But Kvasir was under Odin. And I think my Norse mythology isn't complete. But I think, and I've been wondering a lot about Kvasir lately, because I think it's like all the gods and goddesses like spat into something, and then Kvasir arose from that. And so, like, he has to do whatever he instructs. Oh, there's Tyr and Odin. Okay, all right, all right, all right. Let me focus. I'm like, Russell, what is this? Oh my gosh. It's like I've been talking about complex emotion. This isn't complex emotion, though. It's just like, it's like, I feel like usually I'm able to contextualize and I can only laugh. And I feel like I feel like this would be you. I'm like, what is this? I've never felt this. Like, I feel like I'm like so curious. It's like I'm still shuffling it. I'm just like, it puts me in the space of a child. Cause I'm like so curious. I'm like, whoa. Like, what is this feeling? What is this? What is this space? Like, I've never felt this before. All right, sorry. Okay. All right, all right, all right. So Scotty came out, and I was like, Scotty. And then Urd, the present, was at the bottom of the deck. I was like, okay. Hey, there's a Norn. You were looking for a Norn, right? With Sin or Sign? Again, Sin? Opportunity. It feels like this is it. Mm-hmm. So Hirokin Hirokin? I don't know. Judgment and final decision. There's Amrun. 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 Okay, of course. The known unknown. The moon runes. Girl, all right. So Hirokin, judgment and final decision. Aimnir, the spirit of fire. And Sin, opportunity. They're all at the bottom behind Amrun. I don't know if I feel like they're less important, but they're there. Okay. All right, sorry. Let me focus. It's rest, 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 rest. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me just be present. Seventh one. Skadi. Skadi is the giantess, goddess of the hunt, and daughter of Thiassi, the giant and trickster who managed to even trick Loki himself. Oh, snap! Skadi is a prolific skier. Her great loves are the mountains, snow, and hunting. She was married to Norther. Okay, she's the one who married the dude in yeah. After the war between Ausgarder and Alfheimer, and is sometimes what? A war between Ausgarder and Alfheimer? Asgard went to war with Alfheim? Are you serious? Ooh. Okay, Rez. I didn't know that. When even Thor can't budget. What is up with these energies? Trickier than even Loki, stronger than even Thor. I love it. And is sometimes said to be mother to Freya and Freyr. The union of Njordur and Skadi is said to have been an unhappy one, as Skadi preferred the mountains to the seaside. She later married Ullr, the ice giant, and lived happily with him in the mountains. Skadi is also thought to be the goddess of Scandinavia, which might draw its name from her. One version of her name is Skanda. Skadi can be called upon for. Okay, yeah. All right. Well, I'll finish it. Can be called upon for resolve and resourcefulness. She represents goal oriented determination and the spread and strong willfulness for the seeker. If either Ullr or Freyr accompanies her in the spread, those qualities are reinforced. If Freya accompanies her mother in the spread, she adds a touch of sex appeal and magic to the mix. Njorther brings monetary aid to her influence, but might bring a feeling of confinement along. If the seeker is starting an endeavor in a competitive environment or a competition of any sort, Skadi is a good reinforcement to call upon. And you're starting an endeavor, the reinforcement is there. There is something here. This is a great undertaking. What? She is. This is a great undertaking. It's the magnum opus. What you're doing, it's reweaving, but in the present moment. And it feels like the present. I feel like I'm yelling again. I feel like I'm yelling. Let me talk softer. If the stream starts to buffer, then it's because I feel like I'm yelling. Okay, I feel like I'm yelling, so I can't go too far into it. Mm. The present is the hardest tense to rewrite or to overwrite. I feel like I'm yelling again. I feel like I'm still yelling. So I'm not going to dig too deep into it because some things are yours, Russ. They're not going to let me shout. Um, some things are yours and for you. And as I discovered the other day, yes, it is. Yeah. Okay. If I get shut down, I get shut down. Oh, all right. It feels like the present is the hardest tense to overwrite. And it may be interesting, but it's even harder to overwrite than the past because we can get in a certain mood and we feel a certain type of way about the past. When you're in a good mood, you remember the good things. When you're in the bad mood, you remember the bad things. The future isn't even set in stone. But something about the present moment, the now moment, the only real moment. So there's this energy that's trickier than Loki, that's stronger than Thor, and in the only moment that in the only time that actually exists. I'm actually gonna read Ruth. And she's the third card in the third realm, by the way. So there's that 33. And I feel like the other day somebody was saying something about 33. Maybe it was Reem, maybe it was Lauren, I don't remember. Urdur, excuse me, is one of the three sisters, the Norns of Destiny, who live by Urtharburn Urtharburner under the roots of the Yggdrasil and take care of the maintenance. Oh, this is what you were talking about. They take care of the maintenance of the tree of life while weaving the web of the present for the human world and the humans. This card represents the present situation of the seeker's question and the present path of the seeker. It is important to pay close attention to the placement of the card of Uther in the spread and the cards around her. Her thread is the current path of the seeker. This thread, much like the thread of the future, is constantly influenced by the seeker's actions and influences. The attendants of Uther, Verdandi, or Skuld, just gonna keep going. And the spread urges the seeker to take an existential look at their path, depending on which one of the sisters appears. In Urther's case, she holds the thread of the present situation and the recent past of what has become, how it became so, and how it currently influences us. She reminds the seeker to take charge of the present time. The mindset of the seeker can influence the objective of any question at hand for the seeker. She reminds you to take charge of the present time where we have like the entire Scotty here. And I feel like, so whatever that feeling was, sorry, Rob. Oh my gosh, Rob, what? You're here. Oh my gosh. Oh, my favorite people. Okay. Now I'm really about to pass out. If I can land in the presence of that goddess, I can survive this. Maybe. Oh my gosh. So there's something about that energy, Russell, that I have never felt. It feels like I don't even have context to begin to explain what I was feeling as I was entering your space. And then you have this great challenge for the present moment. It's an energy, and it takes me back to that room yesterday. And it takes me back to the apple bearer. And it feels like, because this is situated at the base of the Yggdrasil tree. So from this space, you can see a lot of the realms, or all of the realms. And somehow your task is to weave, it's like to weave all of them together, all nine realms, to weave them together and to bring them into the present moment. And it's like that, it's something that you wouldn't even think of as possible until you see it being done. Mimi, what? You wouldn't even think of it as possible until you see it being done. But when you see it being done, it triggers the remembrance that it can be done. And so it's like now all of a sudden you're doing it. So whatever you're doing, Gandalfur, whatever you're doing, Gandalfur, it's causing that remembrance in others. Just like I'm the little Baldur, right? And it's that energy of like inspiring, but simultaneously being inspired. You call forth the light of someone else. And as they shine brighter, it calls forth more of your light. Wait, did you really? What? Oh, snap. And I also feel like I don't know if you're necessarily in a place of seeking answers, Russell, but it feels like it's so important for you right now to allow things to continue to unfold. And it's not that you're not supposed to seek, you are supposed to keep seeking, but the path to revelation holds many treasures for you. And I remember after you posted your the trial by fire video, after you posted the trial by fire video, and I feel like I saw a piece of you for the first time. I was like, oh my gosh, like, who is this dude? What is this energy? What? It feels like you're here to bring something forward or to facilitate or to help bring something forward, but it also feels like there is something here for you. You said a card. Oh my gosh. the the card, one card flipped over in the tarot apocalypse. And I've been seeing this card and I've been saying something. So this great work that you're doing in the present, Russell, the card that came out is the Ace of Swords. And I don't know if you can see it, but all the little runes flying around in this Ace of Swords, I was seeing it and I was feeling it's like I was like, it's this feeling that the runes are gonna come back, but they're gonna come back in a way that it feels like it's more tied almost to the natural world, but not necessarily. It feels like it's going to come forward in a way that allows us to tie it to the natural world, and the natural world feeds our further understanding of this rune. And I'm like, the one card that flipped over is the Ace of Swords with all of these runes. And some of them are like in bubbles, right? You can see some of them, it feels like these lights, like the super shiny ones, are the ones that have been, it's almost like they've been too bright. They've been obscured. Oh my gosh, hold up, wait. No, there's three of them. Four. Oh, this is interesting. One, two, three, four, five. Kind of six. Like there are some rooms that aren't in bubbles at all. And there are some rooms that are. And some bubbles are brighter. What is that one? Wow, that one doesn't have anything on it. There's another. Oh, there's some that are kind of cloudy. What? I've never noticed that. Well, thank you for trusting me with this. Ah, I feel like I just fell into another Russell trap. Oh, here's 7-7. More Cindy math. 7 7, the seventh of the seventh realm, the third of the third realm. Part of me feels like you asked me to do this for you, for me. Or maybe it was for you. And in me getting a little closer to your light, it encourages more of my light. Oh. It's interesting how woozy I don't feel right now. I can feel like, some whatever, but it feels grounded. And maybe that's another thing about the present. It's grounded, grounded, and grounding. I feel like grounding, grounding. Is that a word? Is that a name? Does that mean something? Grounding? Maybe not. I don't know why I want to say it like that. Yeah. I feel like I don't want to touch it. I feel like this is perfect. Thanks, Russ. Hey, everybody. Is it Gaia, the Dutch one? I don't know how to pronounce your name, Gaia. Sorry. Gaia? Bring on Ragnarok. Right. Oh. Gia? Gia? This, I like this energy. Okay. I like this energy. I really like I really like this. And I think I also know why it feels foreign. I feel like that's a treat for me. That's my treat, and I'm keeping it. It's my treat, and I'm keeping it. Sorry, Russell, but it's mine. It's mine. I'm taking it. I'm keeping it. I appreciate so much of what you're doing, and it makes me so emotional. Again, I don't know why I'm feeling so emotional, but I appreciate so much of who you are and what you're doing. And I feel like it brightens an old cynical soul like mine. Where even when I would know and even when I would hope, I feel like with you and because of you, I can see it. It makes it more real. It makes it more than just possible. What was it? What was it in the reading yesterday? It makes it inevitable. It turns the impossible into the inevitable. So thank you. Thank you for this. Wow. Wow. Now I'm just gonna be laughing for the rest of the day. It's fine. I like it. Woo! Oh, look at that! Oh my gosh. Look who's at the bottom of the deck next to the spindle as I stop shuffling. All right. Thanks, Russ. I feel like we're all in a space of becoming. No, I just finished. Rob. Oh, yeah, see. We're all in a space of becoming. With the Two of Pentacles and the title card. So I'll leave the title. If I get a deck with the title card, I'll leave it in there. And the title card for me, it's basically the space of where it's really important for us to be present and to allow, because something is going to unfold in a way that only the high priestess would be able to understand. And again, it's like that's what's coming in because of the balance. And it's like with the Two of Pentacles, it's like this groundedness. It's mine. It's mine. And that's why I was saying this beard can't hide anything. There's not enough beard to hide. But with us being in a space of becoming, the fluidity is important. I think that's why Ran kept coming out. There's an importance of fluidity. There's a presence of the subconscious. And there's that interface between the seafloor and all that lies below. And we're becoming. And now it's like one of those volcanic vents or one of those underwater vents, right? So at the seafloor, Ran's a man catcher. I mean, I could use some of that energy in my life, Loki, a little bit. But it almost feels like Ran is down there looking for. I don't know if she's looking or if she can inherently just feel it. But it's these areas along the seabed where she can tap into a volcanic vent, one of those vents underwater. She can tap into it. And that's the bubbling up. That interface is like where the soul bubbles up to the surface. There's something about those vents allowing what lies below the opportunity to come to the surface, but it doesn't gush to the surface. It's like it's bubbling. Feels like gushing might cause, well, in some areas you can gush, in other areas you bubble, in other areas you can't place a vent at all. And it's like that knowing and that understanding is also weaving its way in here at some points. And it's not that you can or you can't. It's like it'll take in some areas and it won't take in other areas. So keep poking holes at the bottom of the seabed, fair traveler. And thank you for visiting and being here with us at this time. Woo! It's like, sometimes you're down here for a little while and then you forget stuff. Or you get stuck in the cycles when it's like a really, really, really long cycle where you're like, wow, like this cycle is a little bit longer or a lot of it longer than the other cycles. And this is a space of free will and free choice. So this could just be reality now. This could just be our reality. And like, nah, it's still a cycle. There's another one. I'm like, okay, thank you. You made magical manifested juice. No problem. Whoo! Okay. There you go, Russell. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to do that for you. I feel special. I feel blessed beyond imagining because I don't know. It reminds me of when Kali Ma said to me in the dream, like, if I come today, there will be no tomorrow. Or like if I come today, it can't be undone tomorrow. And I feel like there is like a deep cynicism that it's like I hope and I can know. It's interesting to maybe sometimes know but not believe. Like to hope and not believe, like we do that every day. But to know and not believe, maybe that's why it's important for me to be more firm right now. Because I got that message from top to bottom yesterday. Well, part of the message was, coming into a space of more and needing to incorporate and integrate more. It was building out that space and allowing that space to unfold. And the other part I already forgot. So, whoo, I'm glad you're enjoying your day. Thank you. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Reeve. Thank you, everybody. I don't even remember what I was saying, but oh, the part about like being clear in a test and stuff like that. When Kali Ma came and said, like, if I come today, there will be no tomorrow. But because of this, I can see tomorrow. I'm like, okay. All right, I'm gonna shut this down. It's been I'm gonna shut this down and gush about everything on camera. No problem, no problem. Oh. Oh, that's cute. Mm. This is funny. I just saw Forsetti. Forsetti? Fairness and Judgment. This is the child between two giants, maybe? I don't even remember. Rob! Okay, Reem. I can't wait to see the rune. Ariel, good morning. Oh my gosh. No problem. Fairness and Judgment is here with Hrein or Hrin. Reassurance and Protection. Reassurance and Protection came. Oh, look at how, like, she's pulling him to the chest. Oh, I love that. Reassurance and Protection. Fairness and Judgment at the bottom of the deck. And then, Gna. I should mod y'all up. Messenger of the Gods. Reassurance and Protection came out. Messenger of the Gods came out face down on top of the Tarot Apocalypsis. Fairness and Judgment at the bottom of the deck. With Aiken guarding the treasure. Reem! Here's Aiken again. Aiken. I feel like I should be rolling something more. Guarding the treasure. And what a treasure it was. Thank you again. Okay. All right. So yeah, I feel like there's a whole bunch that I just completely missed. I'm gonna have to like go through and read it again or something. It's been like 2 hours. Thank you all so much for being here. This was a delight beyond delights. It was the most joyous of experiences and moments. And I'm glad to experience today after the beating up I experienced last night. Oh, Ariel. Oh, Ariel. Oh, Ariel. I feel like I could stay on here for hours, but mm, I'll pull one more card from one more deck because I was kind of feeling this one earlier, but I didn't take it. Didn't grab it. This will be to leave us all off. Oh, parting is such sweet sorrow. So, um, the witch from Into the Woods, part of her witch's rap just popped into my mind. And it's like dragons, no scorch marks. Usually they're linked. Manticore, imaginary. Griffin, extinct. I don't know why that line. It's like dragon, no scorch marks. Usually they're linked. Hold on, wait. I think that's how it goes. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Dragon, no scorch marks. Usually they're linked. Manticore, imaginary. Griffin, extinct. Giant, possible. Very, very possible. Was it a giant? Oh, that's possible. Okay. Oh, that's my treasure. The sage. Come through, Gandalfur. I'm not rolling that at all right. The sage. With paradox at the bottom of the deck. The sage and paradox. The sage is the one who knows how to integrate paradox into this space. The sage is the one who proves that it's possible. What we would usually think can't exist in this space, and it's like, what? That's the magic. Like when you're sitting around the Yggdrasil and you can view all the nine realms, your conception of what is possible and what is impossible, what can be done, what can't be done, what exists and what does not exist, it's completely altered because you will see the spaces where it exists and you will know that it's possible. And then you will learn the fundamentals to bring that which exists in another place into your present moment in reality. We'll all reweave our own realities in the true spirit of Russell. We all do it. It is for all of us. Oh, you have a Monkey King? Sun Wukong? Sun Wukong, right? I saw Journey to the East. I took Chinese in high school for a semester. And he was like, Shifu, Shifu, Wukong, Shifu. When Sun Wukong was going to meet his teacher. That's that Gandalf, that Baldur, that great sage. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm yelling it. Now I feel excited. I feel like I'm excited right now. Whew. Okay. You were shaking. I missed it, Eve. I felt so bad. All right. So thank you all. The Great Sage coming out to be the last card. Sometimes I get nervous with this deck. Sun Wukong. I love that. I know. I kind of did, low key. I want to keep going, but I'm going to shut it down because I still need to eat. So whoever goes live next, I think Reem said another Runebreaker video is like in the works to come out. I'm so excited. I love watching these Runebreaker videos. I love just like coming in like to a different space and like, wait, I feel like I felt this energy in that rune. Like, is that rune coming through? Is this Flusa? Is this 12th? Is this Knefa? Is this Hang True? Is this Eipelbiter? Eipelbiter? I don't know. Anyway, all right. What? Okay, now I really gotta go. Okay, bye. It did? Oh, snap. All right, so whoever goes, my notifications are on for like everybody. YouTube, don't mess this up. Because I didn't get notified that Reem went live. I was sad. Woo! Thanks, Rod. You've done 18 readings in the past 36 hours. Woo! But you're on that fast. You got this. Oh, thank you again, Eve, for gifting me the Yggdrasil deck. I appreciate it so much. Oh, snap. All right. Well, I'm going to shut this down. Whoever goes live next, I'm going to be eating a big bowl of cereal. Oh, okay. No problem. You're not ready to go live yet. You'll get there, Ariel. All right. I will catch you all later. This really, it went down to Patrick. Ooh, my chest feels warm. They took 36 hours to upload. Oh my gosh. Down to the Patrick well, and brought up a little bit more water. And it's clean. It's not like that muddy, murky water stuff that, from other wells. But excuse me. All right. Thank you again. I love you all so much. I am so glad to have you here. And I will catch you in the next now moment, since it's all about the present, right? I hope you all have a good whatever whenever you see this, and I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. Um, and I know that life is rough, and managing all of it invites a lot of paradox into our reality. But it feels like paradox is where the magic lies, right? In other worlds and other lands, you just accept that, you snap your fingers and water manifests out of nowhere. There's not a question of where did that water come from? Oh my gosh. Magic lies in the paradox. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. I could be wrong. Your magic lies where your magic lies for you. There we go. Your magic is where your magic is, and I hope that you find it.